And welcome to the blood-soaked murder factory. What in the world is going on? I'm going to burn through this pretty quick. Stay with me to the end. I've got a prediction for you. Nonsense coming out in the wake of the Nashville shooting, none of which makes sense, but all of it was sort of predictable. Stay with me. This is yeah. Buckle up, here we go. You make the decision. Do you want dangerous freedom or peaceful slavery? I will choose dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery any day. Dropped just a few minutes ago. Show your non-compliance with nonsense. Sizing up to 6XL. Link is right down below. Brand spanking new. This was still warm off the press just a few minutes ago. You people, thank you for every thumbs up to You People Nation. A lot of new folks are here on this channel. I've said this. Let me just get everybody up to date. I've said this 1,000 times. They don't come down the driveway for the disarmament. Believe me, disarmament is the goal. They don't come down the driveway. Few examples, Ruby Ridge, they'll try to make examples, but overall, they're going to try to do end arounds and running long routes around and come back the other direction. Financially coming at us from a lot of different areas. One that I think that's coming is going to call it a public health crisis and disarm us from everything that we believe in and stand for. This one, what's going on this week is really interesting. It's another end around, and it's simply blaming the people across the aisle. For this discussion, remember, we don't get to choose who they group into our side. I know that a lot of y'all get your hackles up being called Republican or getting called GOP. I know that most of y'all are conservatives. I'm not big on labels. I don't like boxes. But remember, they put us all in a box. So they're just blaming anybody that believes in freedom, or like I do in traditional American values and the Constitution. They're going to put us all in one GOP box. That's the way it is. We can't control that. Article came out that made me press record just now. Stay with me to the end. I have a prediction for you. This is from The Nation by Elie Mystal. He is a Harvard-educated egghead, lawyer, etc. Republicans want you to forget their complicity in the Nashville shooting, pointing across the aisle and saying it's y'all's fault, not the shooter's, not the monster's fault, not the person with a mental disorder. Complicity. And then I read the second line. Conservatives want to make the massacre about trans people or religion, anything but the blood-soaked murder factory they've forced us all to live in. It is a populace today that is screaming for their own disarmament. Every people group that has been disarmed by their own government has been systematically then murdered by their own government. That's not hyperbole, that's not drama, that's not clickbait. That's history. And Elie is screaming to be disarmed. Let the government take care of us. The government doesn't care about you. Another headline, you want to keep going? Yep, there's more, straight from ABC News. After the Nashville shooting, Republican lawmakers again call gun action premature. They refuse to act. They're refusing to write more laws in books. Murder is already illegal. Biden said he intends to expose those people who will refuse to do something. The only thing that man wants to expose is himself to children. Next, Washington, from the New York Times. Shooting prompts a shrug in Washington as the GOP rejects pleas to act. Secondary line. President Biden said he had reached the limit of his powers to act alone on gun violence and needed Congress to respond. Republicans said they'd already done all they're willing to do. In other words, they are just blaming the people across the aisle. It's not limited to writers. It's not limited to the news. Check this out. And people with a voice, with microphones. I know a lot of us go, just some Hollywood moron, which is true. Remember, Hollywood morons have the microphones and the cameras. It's from Breitbart. Disney's Frozen star Josh Gad blames transgender mass shooter on Republicans. Blood-soaked murder factory. I can tell you this about Elie Mystal, the writer of that. If something went bump in the night, he would scream and cry into 911, begging a grown man who is armed to get down to his house or his apartment or his condo as fast as he can and handle it with a firearm. He would scream and beg for the government. They get it. There's nobody that's fully anti-gun. They get it, but they just want the government to own it. My prediction for the days ahead, I don't like playing the card of 1931. I don't like playing the card of 1931. But one thing we've learned from the 1931 forward decade is that the first thing they did was dehumanization. They had to dehumanize another people group, in order for their own people to give a thumbs up to the invasion of Poland. The dehumanization of patriots is next. Keep your powder dry, y'all. Keep your powder dry.